taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Samurai and Tom. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spend it with Samurai and Tom. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.
Welcome to episode 36 of 4-4 and Go, going live. Super pumped, super ecstatic tonight. Something a little near and dear to our hearts here. We will be having, as you guys see on the bottom there, Lakeside Dragon head coach Buzz Edwards, Lakeside football on at 9:30 tonight. Oh, that's right. I got my shirt. At my break, I will make sure I have my shirt on. Damn, man, do I feel like a turd, Ferguson. But just so everyone's walking, look at, hey, anyone out there that got their jersey, send us a little image. I got my jersey from high school still. So all y'all watching, I know there's some of y'all former Lakeside players. Coach Rich, I know you're watching. Send us an image of like I don't know, one of those sweet coaching jersey things you guys wore. Warm-up suits, I don't know, but send it out there. And listen, an interesting factoid for you guys out there. Even though we all know Sammy didn't play much, I should say. And we know Tom didn't play, and I will get into introducing all you guys on that. But I'm just kind of going with it, spitballing here, Tom, as you would call it. There is Sammy's jersey in high school was number 20, and we have now witnessed number 20 walking around on someone else's back through Ashtabula area. We need that jersey. Help us out. There is a young man about the same age as me, Sammy, and Tom that walks around Ashtabula. I've seen this man near Speedway, Station Avenue, Burger King, and Wendy's, all in that area. If y'all see him, find out what it takes to get the jersey. Hook us up. So, but yeah, as usual, welcome to 4-4 and Goal, episode 36.
I got a hot $50 bill for that jersey. If I can come up on it, I got a $50 bill for you, and I'll buy you a different jersey. I just want that one.
He does have a Trent Richardson jersey he's willing to swap. So,
hey, that's cool,
yeah, boy. But yeah, like usual, to my right, El Samuel Torres. To the bottom here, El Tommy. Just Tom. I can't.
Tommy Fresh. Tommy Two Tommy Fresh. 867-5309.
867-5309. Well, yes. So, jersey number 20 for Sammy. Hook him up. If you guys see him, let us know what we got to do. Yeah, we're all from the Ashtabula area here. I would like to send out a big congratulations to one of the members on the panel here, and that would be to Tommy Fresh, who is in the process of buying his own home. Well, I'm sure Megan's involved in that somehow. So,
that's right.
You know,
she's the boss, man.
Yeah,
she's the boss.
Right. So congratulations to Tom.
Thank you. I'm going to put a hot thing out here. You guys are probably going to laugh at me. But so Megan tells me she likes this house. All right. And she's looked at a bunch. Now, I work at a car dealership, so I don't got time. She told me I ain't even stepped foot in this thing yet. And I'm dropping 80 grand on it. I'll tell you what, if she loves it, I love it. But God, in the words of in the words of Randy from Trailer Park Boys, but it does scare the shit out of me.
And then also, I would like to commend El Samuel Torres, who is working on putting a floor in his house for the first time in his life. It's not really like
First decision I've ever made in my life. I
Not
don't
a
recommend
total
anybody do
floor.
it.
but it's we're not putting plywood down here. He's putting new flooring in. I have said I would be over tomorrow to help him after work, which I immediately regretted making that decision as soon as I mentioned it. But now I'm committed, so I'll be there. So that is what it is.
Here's the thing with housework is, when you're doing something on your house, the only way you make sure it gets done is if you break something. So once the carpet's ripped up, bud, you're fixing that floor whether you want to or not.
Yep.
There's no going back.
Listen,
There is no
throw you a
going
hot
back.
coat of paint on there. Call her a day, boys. Call her a day.
yeah.
Hey, you can tell Jessica she can change the color weekly if she wants to. Oh man, but so other than that, we got good news going across the board. I'm super pumped tonight, man. We got head coach of the Lakeside Dragons coming up here, Buzz Edwards, at 9:30. Warrior Nation stood out. We had Falcon Nation, they stood out. St. John
Hey, guys,
Nation stood out.
I do want to say this now. The head coach from Edgewood has already responded, Coach
Yep.
Butchko, that he's got some T-shirts on the way here because we got a little swag going on here
Yep.
today.
Mine's out in my Jeep. I forgot all about it because we did have
So
a
to
one-on-one.
To all the coaches watching, we love free shirts, man. Bring it on.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
You know how those 18-year-old kids on your team, for whatever reason, will run through a brick wall for a free T-shirt? Let me tell you something. I'm not running through a brick wall, but I will rep it on our show here. So just so you guys know that. Love the free Dragon swag. Butchko, we'll see what's up. See if he comes through. That is what it is.
I'm sure.
Yep. And then, but I will have my swag on at the second half of the show. Well, I might just casually leave while Sammy talks too much at some point in time tonight. So, but yes. You guys got anything else before we hop right into it?
We're gonna do the memorial, the remembrance of our guy. Is that what we're doing to start?
Yeah, I mean,
RIP.
we can do that. So a little RIP to the legend. Oh, I almost hit the wrong button, and that would have been bad. Anyways, legendary Dick Goddard of he's a weatherman for was he Fox? He was Fox 8, wasn't he? For decades, right?
Wasn't he? He was Fox 8. He's the reason why I still watch Fox 8.
This man right here has Dick Goddard Way in Cleveland. He has a street named after him.
Well, he's got
big-
Dick Goddard Way. He's got the Dick Goddard Law, which is what makes it a felony now if you are harmful to animals. He also has the Dick Goddard School of Meteorology. This guy, I mean, truly, we throw legend around a lot, but this guy's a legitimate legend.
Right.
Definitely the first person I can ever attribute to like knowing by first and last name for a newscast. I still watch Fox 8 to this day because Dick Goddard was the man. I believe everything he said was gospel as far as I was concerned.
Yep. Hey, if he said it was going to rain, it didn't. Something was wrong with Mother Nature. Let me tell you.
Hey, that's exactly it. Mother Nature.
Right. I was
DJ
right.
never got it wrong.
Oh boy. But yeah. Rest in peace. He will be missed. I mean, it's sad to see him go. It really is. He's a living legend in Northeast Ohio and probably further. So, or not living legend. I'm sorry, but said that one wrong. Of course I did. Yeah. Anywho.
At least once a show. Right,
I
turns
got
me into
you.
Lee Trevino from Happy Gilmore.
I'm sorry.
Grizzly
and while
Adam
we got
did
everyone
have a
on
beard.
here, while we got everyone on here, so I don't screw anymore, maybe I can redeem myself here. Ken, I know right now we have 2 viewers over on YouTube, and we got about 30 people watching us right now. If you guys have a minute sometime tonight, hop over to YouTube for us. Subscribe and like our show over there. Coach Rich has said it multiple times that I guess the image is a little bit more clearer on that side. I'm not 100% sure because I only see what I see. But if you guys can hop over to YouTube sometime tonight, whether it's during the break before Coach Buzz Edwards gets on, subscribe, like our show on there, hit the notification bell. That way you know when we come on live every night. I know it kind of runs through the you guys get it via Facebook. Yes, that's it. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. I really do, genuinely. But yeah, if everyone takes time, do that, and don't forget on here, like and share our post on here. Last time I haven't checked yet. We were up to 849 followers, so thank you guys all very much. Hopefully, we bump it up another 50 tonight with Dragon Nation.
I anticipate that to go up because Lakeside, up, down, or in the middle has a huge following. Ashtabula City is the largest area when it comes to how many kids, how many families are involved. So I'm expecting a big show tonight. I'm expecting a lot of people to tune in because I've said it for the last couple weeks. The coaches we've gotten on here, there's all new coaches. Everybody around here, all these coaches have been here, I think 5 years or under. I'm not sure. Maybe Coach Sorbert's been there a little bit longer, but it's overall a new face in Ashtabula. There's this new look of leadership around here, and it's time for football to matter again. It's time for the community to invest again. It's time for you to take time on a Friday night if you got off work and you and your family are looking for something to do, and go catch a football game. Whether you're watching the Falcons or the Fighting Heralds or the Edgewood Warriors or the Geneva Eagles, who we're going to have the coach for next week, or the Lakeside Dragons, get out there and hopefully, if all things work out, maybe it can be 2 teams at a time. See what I'm doing there?
Yeah, boy.
But no, take it. That should be a Friday night thing in Ashtabula County. If you're not doing anything, go check out these kids. Play the sport of gladiators.
Absolutely.
Yep. Let's see. Sorry, Tom. If you got something, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, we all talk about pride in the community. We all talk about bringing Ashtabula back to what it once was. And honestly, we all talk about children are the future. Well, the future can revolve around these children and getting the spirit of Ashtabula back through going and supporting these young men in any endeavor. And that endeavor isn't just football. The endeavor for some young man might not be going to NCAA football, pro football, but maybe he wants to be a doctor or a lawyer. But that football game is going to teach him leadership. It's going to teach him, camaraderie, community, everything. So you go support him in that endeavor. That's going to affect him going into the future. So we need to start supporting this now, because not everyone's going to be a college athlete, but anyone can be anything they want to be in this world. But it starts with us supporting them right now. So what better way to do it than football, man? Football's one of the best sports there is. Outside of golf.
It's up to us.
Outside of golf.
Yep. You were doing great until the end there. It's fine, though. I understand. All right. Let's bounce right into it real quick here. Let me share my screen with you guys. Typical COVID-19 update coming up here. Honestly, it's not as bad as I was expecting. 539, but actually I do believe it's 544 per the other source I just looked at. That was ohio.coronavirus.gov. I just kept this one up here because it had a little bit better review. Deaths were the same. And this number here, 932, I don't know exactly if that's, changed or a little bit different. Sammy will, I'm sure, correct me here in a minute because he always does.
Excuse me.
But yeah, there it is.
No. What I was going to tell you is I think the only thing is these numbers are. Excuse me.
Corona.
These numbers are. That's a.
It's coming for me.
Listen, that's what happens when you have a house full of dust because of putting these floors in.
Right.
No, these numbers are just 24 hours old is all. That's Google, for whatever reasons, is behind the task.
Right. Well, nonetheless, 932 the other day, we rocked around 1,700. Death toll did go up a little bit in Ohio itself, but in the county, it looks like it stayed the same. So
David Rivas with us. I haven't seen him in a couple shows.
Yeah, where you been, David? Just did you get stuck in that car or something? I know you're always listening to music in that thing. It's like you live in there or something.
Are you camping out outside of Tom Brady's trailer right now? What's going on?
Yeah, he is.
We missed you.
He
David.
is. All right, so one thing, that was a quick COVID-19 update, nothing major, nothing crazy. I want to get right into some high school football talk. The number one thing is that came out today that I was reading, and this is from Cincinnati.com. What he said, what DeWine says, response was not meant for high school. So what we're talking about there, on I think it was August 1st, there was a updated what do I want to call it here? An updated news based off of the
mandate.
Updated mandate that basically said, if you read through section 10 of that mandate, that all athletes, when playing against another school, must be tested 3 days prior to the event. There's been a lot of uproar. Honestly, me, Sammy, and Tom, we've been talking about it the past week, and we almost, I mean, until this, just a little bit ago, I thought there was no glimmer of hope. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. I thought it was done. I genuinely did. But reading this, DeWine basically states that it wasn't meant for the high school level. They had to do it because of pro sports, and the biggest thing was some sort of, I think it was a semi-pro basketball tournament somewhere. It was meant towards that, but they had to get something out prior to this. So all hope is not lost in any way, shape, or form. So everyone knows. I know we talked about on the show the other day. Just hold on, I'm almost done. Just relax. You can have the floor.
I'm just counting.
Right.
You said it once.
What did I say? Some way, shape, or form? Twice now. You want me to say it a third time? Anyways, we said the other day on the show that man, then seeing I lost my whole train of thought. It was going great, and then you just waxed it. I don't even know where I was going with it now because of you. Just simply because of you. Oh, on the show.
Okay, let's lie then.
I bet. But yeah, we said something on the show the other day. We were talking about it, but I have no idea where it's going. So I don't know what you guys have to say about this. I have to collect myself here again and see if I can remember. So I'm done right now. Go.
I mean, here's the only. So they snuck this out. They snuck that little 10th, Roman numeral out on the first, and then try and backdated it, so it would still apply back then. After coaches are out there, preparing for the season. It reminds me of somebody who's talking shit as they walk out the door. So Mike DeWine, much like he's done on a lot of these issues, flip-flopped. As much as I think it's pretty well established. I'm super pro restriction when it comes to this. I'm all about the safety and making sure we're doing things the right way. But that, along with, and I'm not trying to knock the hornet's nest down, so bear with me here, but I liken it to the 10 o'clock bar shutdown. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. So requiring high schools to test all of their athletes, coaches, trainers, and everybody for a test that, if we're just talking, let's put it on the cheaper end, is like $100 a piece. You're looking at some schools that it's going to cost about $50,000 to play a game. And then there are further reaching parts of this too. Like we were talking about before. So you can't give $50,000 to the football team without Title IX coming into play. That means you got to find $50,000 more to give to a female counterpart, whether it's volleyball, soccer, or what have you. So now you're up to $100,000 a week for kids to play football. And let's be honest, the schools around here have to do fundraising to pay for practice shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
So we're you know what I mean? It's just, to me, it seemed like a backhanded. I'm just reading the private comments. It seemed like a backhanded. It seemed like a backhanded way of, oh well, if you guys aren't going to shut down, we'll price you out. We'll make it too rich for your blood, which is crap.
Right. Yeah, but that's not. I mean, per DeWine, and I'll let you go, Tom. Sorry, per DeWine, it wasn't meant for high school. Through that whole article, I did read that they plan on sending something else out. Unfortunately, it sounds like about a week before the first game. Most games are scheduled for August 28th of this year, or for this year, I'm sorry. So he basically said once it gets closer to the time frame, and they'll take the next 2.5, 3 weeks to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, whether they're going to mandate high schools or not. So right now, on paper, there is a mandate for them to have that COVID test, but they plan on changing that. So go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
So
before you go, Tom, I just want to say this real quick, and then I'm going to let you go. I feel like Kanye West right now, which means you are in love with me. It's not. So even if it's just for Ohio State, Cincinnati, and Cleveland, okay? Because I think what they're thinking in their mind is those programs can all afford. I mean, it's going to be much more than $50,000 in testing for those, because those are huge programs. They can afford that per game. That pretty much cancels a MAC school, because a MAC school can't absorb $100,000 per game. They're hardly making that. Kent State and Akron probably don't make that when they go against each other, and that's a full stadium.
Yes. Yeah. They probably don't even sniff 100K. They're probably lucky to sniff 60, honestly. Yeah. And so my thing with this whole thing, like DeWine saying, hey, it's going to take me like a week, maybe 2, to kind of come out with mandates for high school. I think that even makes him look worse in a way, because a week, 2 weeks from now, these kids are going to be kicking off. They've put in ass-busting work to get ready for a season. They've dedicated the rest of their summer to going out there, becoming a team, maybe integrating a new starting quarterback, maybe offensive lines learning new terminology, that kind of thing. And DeWine just comes out here with a shit-eating grin and is like, oh, yeah, 2 weeks, maybe a week, and I'll figure this out. What if the testing and stuff is super harsh and these schools can't afford it, and they just find out a week before a huge game? That makes DeWine look like the biggest jackass on the planet in my estimation. I mean, DeWine's always come out and kind of saying without saying, I don't want to be the bad guy. Well, dude, in this case, if you do something like that, you're going to be the bad guy, man. Make no bones about it. Like, at that point, you can't hide behind, oh, well, we'll figure out in another week. Because then you've got schools that canceled their whole season because of it, man. Because of it not being fiscally responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't agree with what he's doing right now. And like you said, Sammy, he's just a flip-flop. So what's going to happen? Like, you're not going to be able to take him, like, his word at that point either. Yeah, it's super frustrating, man. Like, this dude needs to figure it out. It behooves him to.
It reminds me of like when you're a kid and you ask your mom or your dad something in front of company and they just don't want to look like a jackass, so they're like, we'll see. We'll see. Like everybody, I'm good at that now myself. Like when they ask me stuff that I really don't want to say no in front of people, I'm like, yeah, we'll see. That's what I'm getting from DeWine. And then like on the other side of that, you're going to have schools that either go all the way and they're going to be disappointed, or that are like, look, we can't afford this. We've got other stuff to worry about. It sucks, but this is how we're going to go. We might have to cancel the season. Just so I think if enough schools cancel the season, then they can come out and say, well, I never said we weren't going to play. Mm-hmm. So they don't look like the bad guy. Make a decision, be clear, and run with it. I'm sure there's a much better way of going about it than we are right now. If you say there's gonna be football and we proceed like there's gonna be football, and I promise you the coaches are gonna abide by these restrictions, because the last thing they're gonna do is want to lose a game on a technicality. I mean, lose out on a technicality at least. And then when late August, early September comes around and it's time to hit the gridiron and start going against each other, if at that time the numbers are overwhelming or they've discovered, a new portion of this virus that was unfounded before, Then you make the difficult decision and you say there's no football. But at least you've tried everything you can. Because right now, what you're doing is you're putting coaches in this shitty limbo where they're like, do we or don't we? Can we or can't we? Should I or shouldn't I? How much should I prepare? Should I get ready for? I mean, can you imagine being a coach right now? All right, now let's talk about, and we'll talk about this with Coach Edwards when he gets on here. But now you've got the Chagrin Valley Conference that's down 2 teams. So now, are you just not going to prepare for them? You don't have to prepare for them now?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like your whole season, do you as a coach prepare for playoffs this year? Because I think we all know that that's a pipe dream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, playoffs are a huge pipe dream right now. And
you just give the coaches the restrictions and they'll follow it. I've seen it firsthand. Whether it's a huge giant program or a small program, they care about their football and they care about their football players more importantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is one, I would say the common denominator with all the coaches that we've had is they're very in love with their program. Every single one of them. We've talked to them and they love everything about it. One thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm not trying to bring up old blood with DeWine, but he did mandate something and then backtrack on it the next day. And I think that's what he's trying to avoid. I think that's what he's trying to avoid right now, which in a way, good for him, but also it kind of sucks because other people are getting the short end of this stick because he doesn't want to make a mistake. He's afraid to make a mistake right now. But let's be honest, there's no written handbook on how to deal with Corona. There's not.
And everybody watching, please give us your comments. Let us know how you're feeling about this too. This is something that affects the entire community, so we want to hear your points of view too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have over 30 people watching right now. I mean, if you guys have a question, comment, whatever it may be, let us know. Like Rich he put out there where he's at. So Rich is down in Florida for whoever's watching. They're not allowed to use bags, shields, or the sled right now at all. And I know just playing offensive lineman, every single one of those were a big deal. Those were a big deal, just to become better. But yeah, DeWine doesn't want to backtrack and have to, rebuttal something that he's already said, to go through with. It does suck.
It's golf all over again. It truly. I don't know if you guys remember, but when coronavirus first started, DeWine said, hey, this has started. We're not opening golf courses. Golf courses are shut down, right? 2 days later, he comes out and says, oh, no, we're going to open up golf courses, but, you got all these rules, right? And then it goes softer and softer and softer until now everything's back to normal with golf. But the thing is, Ryan, like you were saying, how bad did he look when he had to do that? Because it was, I was happy because golf courses opened back up because I was pissed. You didn't want to be in my house that night. I'm sure you guys can imagine. I want to put my head through a wall. But, he looked like a jackass on the television screen when he had to come back and backtrack on the things that he so definitively and passionately said that day or two before. At that point, I was like, dude, like God, like I don't know what's spewing out of your mouth right now. And Ryan, you hit the nail on the head when you were talking. I just want to back your point up there.
No, you're good, yeah.
It's coronavirus, COVID-19 safety, and whatever. I guess, take it as you want. Maybe it's controversial, but it's become a pay to play.
Yeah.
Is what this has become. Yeah. And that's a problem. That's a problem because pay to play doesn't always work. And it very rarely has the best interest of the community in order. And what I mean, for those of you who don't understand what I'm trying to say by pay to play, is if you have enough money and you can get enough people in the pocket of the state of Ohio, your restrictions will be lighter. That's not the way to go.
I can think of a certain industry that did that.
Yeah.
That I'm intimately involved with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's be smart. You obviously can't just go willy-nilly and let everything go crazy. Use smart restrictions, use your head, and give people a clear and concise path to proceed. If you do that, then you won't have people pushing back as much. You will always have people pushing back, but not anywhere near as much.
Our boy Junior coming in
Junior
with some
Valeriano.
fire. Some fire right here, brother.
I want
Gosh.
my season so bad. I know it's a purpose, but we still have been working hard to go away because DeWine doesn't know how to make up his mind. Bugs me a lot. I'm just trying to be on the field with my brothers and my coaches. I think that right there is a sentiment across the county. Let us play. Let those kids
Well, I
play.
mean, they came up with a whole I don't want to call it like a protest, but what was it? Play false or hashtag play sports or hashtag we want sports or something like that.
Yeah,
that was DeWine leading that charge. I mean, I remember watching the infomercial that they put out to, talk about that. And I want these kids to play. Every coach that we've had on here, that's all they want. They want to be part of these kids' lives. They want to help them, whether it's volleyball, I think volleyball, golf, or football. It doesn't matter. Whatever fall sport is, that's what they want to do. They want to have these kids. This is a big part of these kids' lives, and the fact that it's on a teeter-totter, and you just don't know what's going to happen from day to day. It's not even week to week anymore. It's day to day. We could get the information tonight at midnight. The ODH, Ohio Department of Health, drops information whenever they want. There's no set time or place for it. And then DeWine has a presser at 2:00 every day to talk about why they did it or why they didn't do it. So,
and you know what else? If what he said was, well, it wasn't meant for high school sports, that verbiage and those testing, that wasn't meant for high school. You know what? Then say that in the mandate. Say that in the order. If that's truly what you feel, don't give me lip service. Go on there just like you guys have amended it 150 times. You go on there and you say applying to post-secondary and professional sports only. High school restrictions to come later. Don't just leave it out there so coaches are like, these coaches have to deal with a bunch of seniors, juniors, and hormones and all these kids right now. All right? They don't have time to play what the hell's Mikey thinking. Right. That's not why we put you there. We put you there to lead us. Yeah, we put you there to lead us. A leader doesn't turn around and go, I don't know, guys. Which one do you think?
They come out with a confident answer, and then you run full throttle with it. That's
exactly it.
I mean, but again, he has shown that, he's in a pickle. I'm sorry, reading a comment.
Too many.
And you're right, Rich. Yeah, but no matter what, there's going to be a losing side to this, and there's plenty of parents out there right now that are probably saying, I don't want my kid to have to go to school, and I know they have the option to do, stay at home with the remote learning. But there's plenty of parents out there saying, tell them, Johnny, hey, you can't play football this year. It's too much of a risk. It's just not happening. But no one's going to be the answer. No matter which way DeWine puts it, it's still going to be wrong in some eyes. I would just say the majority of us want to see high school sports, even if it's a remote learning during the day, but you could play in the evening together for the 3-hour game that there is. And let's see. We got an 8th grader here. Welcome in, Ethan. I want to say hi.
That's one of Terry's boys.
Yeah, so he says, I'm on the 8th grade team, and I've loved every minute back with my teammates and coaches as well. But at the moment, all I can do is watch and wait to see if I'll have a season, and it stinks, but it's out of our control. You're right, man. Hey, you're right, Ethan, in every way. I won't say it, Sammy, but in every way possible, you are right. And it is out of our control, and that's what you have to respect that in some way. I'm gonna stop there. You have to respect that scenario, because it is. There's nothing that we can do about it, And DeWine, he just needs to make a decision, because the part that's gonna really, really suck for these kids is over the next 3 weeks, we're going to go through 2-a-days. We're going because they're still allowed to practice, still allowed to prep. We're going to go through 2-a-days. We're going to do all the workouts. We're going to do all the, the video watching, everything. And then all of a sudden, it's the 26th, first game's on the 28th. I'm sorry, it would have to be by the 27th. So, I'm sorry, by the 25th because of their mandate. So on the 24th, he drops a bomb that says, hey, no football this year.
I'll tell you what, to Ethan and Junior and any of the players watching, and we've gotten a chance to talk to a couple of the guys that are playing around town, around the county. First of all, we've said 100 times that, our hearts are with all you guys because you guys should never be put in this position, but it's going to make you stronger. You're going to learn a lot. But with regard to this year, there are two types of people in the world. The some people, because something bad might happen, they don't live. And the other type of people, they live their life, and if it happens, it happens. So what I would suggest, and if you guys feel differently, obviously, jump in, is all you kids go out there and practice as hard as you can, learn as much as you can, listen to everything your coach is saying, because the best case scenario is you're going to do all this work, and on Friday night, those lights are going to come on, and it's kickoff time, baby, and everything you did was worth it. Mm-hmm. The worst case scenario is you did all that work, and you don't get to play the game, but you still got to learn. You still got to work with friends, and even though you didn't get the final payoff, you'll never, ever get these practices again. Practice sucks. 2-a-day sucks, but you'll remember it for the rest of your life. It's something that it becomes a part of you. So give everything you've got, because if the state of Ohio takes it away from you, and mind you, I want you to know that the guys on this panel, the guys who are coaching you, and most of the people in the community are going to fight tooth and nail to keep that from happening. Okay?
Yes, they are.
We're going to do everything we can. So all you guys need to do right now is be kids. You guys be kids, and you do your part. We, the adults, will do our part. We will make sure you guys get a chance to play some kind of football this year. You go out there and give everything you've got, because you can't if it does happen and you didn't give everything you got, you can't get ready overnight.
Correct. The one thing I want to say, and I'm glad, like, Junior and Ethan, you're on. I think you guys are really fortunate, and I'm going to elaborate on that right now. So Sam, myself, and Ryan grew up in a time where life didn't necessarily hit us when we were 15, 16, 13. We were fortunate enough to maybe life didn't hit us until a little bit later. Some tough truths, some tough facts, setbacks, that kind of thing. But you guys are super lucky right now, because you're getting to grow up with this, and you're getting to see how life can hit you and how you can grow from that at a young age. These lessons you can take forward much later in your life. Okay. I know that listen, man, I don't know what you're going through, because I didn't go through this when I was 15, but it's really cool that you get to go through this, because life's hitting you super hard right now. And now you have the opportunity to hit back when you're 15, 16 and learn from it. So take this as kind of, in a way, a blessing, sort of, because now when something inconvenient happens to you when you're 21, it's not going to be like when something inconvenient happened to me when I was 21. I didn't know how to deal with it, because I didn't have to deal with adversity when I was younger. I didn't have to deal with a coronavirus, something like that. You did. So when you're going to be much better prepared in the future when something does happen to you. So take that and really run with it, guys, because you know what? You guys are going to grow up and be even stronger than we were when we were younger, it's pretty great. It might not seem like it now, but it'll be great for you growing up. You'll be able to look back on this and kind of be thankful that you got to learn at a young age.
Yeah, and Mr. Bernardsky over there does bring up a good point. Just get dialed in. Young women, young men, when you're ready to play, when that time comes, because eventually it will, get dialed in now. Be ready to roll, because before you know it, those lights will be on, whether they're in the gymnasium, whether they're on a Friday night, the lights will be on. Even if I got to go on man creates on the other team. Well,
and
we have a little Madden tournament for virtual.
We do focus on high school football here, just because that's it's a common love that we have here. We love football here, but it isn't just football; it's everything. It's all the kids. While I can relate most to the two-a-days and that senior year and stuff like that, I know that there are kids out there who have worked up to their senior year for whatever they're doing. And, we always joke you can only be a senior athlete once. You can be a senior more than once, but you can only be a senior athlete once. So you're only going to get to live through this one time. So I have said a couple times, I really, really hope that for the kids' sake, they can figure this out. And that means, if that means that we have to watch every game on Boxcast this year, then so be it.
So be it, man. Because
I'd rather watch, 440 and goal will give all the broadcasts that we can here. So you can look forward to that. We'll make sure you'll see it. But at the end of the day, let these kids have what they deserve. They're kids, man. They're kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
And
it doesn't get a whole lot more fun after that.
in that mandate right now, there is no fans in the stands. I do believe, I think it was the section below Section 10. Basically, no one's in the stands at this moment in time, correct?
Yeah, nobody's.
Is that what I write on there? Yeah, no one's in the stands. Yeah. So, I mean, everyone, parents, whoever's out there watching, just expect this year you ain't going to be there with your kids. Whether, expect, if they do play, expect to be sitting outside of the stadium waiting to pick them up and listen to it on the radio, streaming it through us, whatever it may be. But expect that. But I wanted to touch on a little bit. So I've gotten to learn myself and with my fellow panel members here a little bit about OHSAA and really what it is and what it does and why it does it. So the Ohio High School Sports Athletic Association. I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts and what your feelings are on it with them, because what I've been noticing, it seems almost like Mr. or Governor DeWine is doing a CYA, and then you got OHSAA over there doing a CYA. Basically, they keep punting it back and forth to each other, and no one wants to just make the commitment. So I didn't know if you guys had any specific thoughts on that.
I'll let you go ahead, Tom, because I'm going to talk forever.
Listen, I'm going to keep it short and concise. There's an old adage, we do the best with what we have, right? My dad used to say it to me, Tom, I'm doing the best with what I got right now, because my mother was working quite a bit. My father disabled. He was home at all times with me and my younger brother. He tried the best he could to raise us, in his image and in academically, which he didn't really care about academics, but he did the best with what he had. OHSAA, DeWine, I truly do believe they're covering their asses, but they're doing the best with what they have, because this is unprecedented. This there wasn't, that we know of, there wasn't coronavirus 7 years ago, you know what I mean? And they had a blueprint kind of to go off of. So this is an unprecedented time. This is a time when they're all just trying to kind of do it, but also, in my opinion, set the groundwork for later years if this resurfaces or if it doesn't go away, right? So we do the best with what we have. We try, and what doesn't work, put on the back burner. We try something else, and we just keep going. I truly believe they have everyone's best interest in mind, because that's why they're elected officials and that's why they're in charge. However, do I think that the delivery could be better? Do I believe that there could be a little bit more pageantry to kind of make you feel better? You know what I mean? If you're going to treat me like crap, at least take me to dinner first. You know what I mean? So, the thing is I truly do think that they're trying the best they can, but at the end of the day, what they need to do is they need to consider the kids in this case. Like Sammy said, you're only a senior athlete once.
That's it.
I was the college senior athlete twice by definition. That's just because I like to party. But that was my own mistake. Don't do that. But Sammy, you go ahead, because I just think they're doing the best with what they've got. Could it be better? Yeah, but it's easy to say.
Sammy, take the wheel. Give it one. I'm sorry.
Listen,
always gotta have a good preamble, baby. You always gotta have that preamble. Get you some, boy.
Listen, here's what it comes down to. I understand. I agree with you to a point, Tom, that they are doing the best they can with what they have. But they're doing with what they have. Okay, they're dealing with it. Okay, because there has never been something like this. God willing, there will never be something like this again.
Correct.
I expect more, though. Okay, I expect better, and here's why. They are in a position of leadership, and when you are in a position of leadership, sometimes you got to make the hard decisions, and you have to give a clear path to everybody on this is how we're going to proceed. And then if that, with that, no, after saying that, then you let them know, subject to change. Okay? So we want you to proceed with this, continue like you're going to have a season. Unless we say there's no season, then, proceed. But this maybe, I don't know. We couldn't. All I keep hearing is, I'll talk to you about it later. I'll talk to you about it later. Listen, I'm not talking to you about it later. This is what we're doing right now. Let us know, and if something needs to change at that time, then change it at that time. You have come out. You can't scrimmage. You have come out. Schools are taking it upon themselves to remove their athletics from the year. Akron schools are going all remote, all for 9 weeks. All right. If you put out the guideline, then people will react. But you can't do that late in August and expect athletic directors, head coaches, youth leaders to be able to scramble together and put together something that's viable. The more time they have to plan, the better product these kids are going to get. And at the end of the day, I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 more times. These kids deserve better. They deserve a better product than what we're giving them. We, as adults, are failing these kids. It's crap. This is crap. I believe that COVID is a problem. I believe that restrictions need to be in place. I believe we need to proceed outside of, any other way that we've ever done it. But I believe we can do it better than what we're doing. This is a half-assed effort for these kids. Get better and start worrying about the kids, not who's going to pay for your campaigns. That's where the problem is.
Yeah, be part of the solution, not the problem. They need Coach Johnson. They would. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Hey, don't forget, guys, we got Buzz Edwards coming on, head coach, Lakeside Dragons, here in about 15 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark area. Had a lot of talk about high school ball, and trust me when I tell you this, the second half of the show is going to be nothing but high school football. And I'm pumped about it. I'm super excited. One thing I wanted to touch on, Tom brought this to my attention earlier this week, well, Sammy and mine. Ontario School District are doing the same with this. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of different things going on right now. There really is. There's no rhyme or it's tough. It really is. But on a kind of an interesting note, it's still football related, but in a different way, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson smells what the XFL is cooking. Now, I really wanted to bring this up because I'm really interested in what he's going to do. I mean, let's be honest here. I don't know how well it's going to go. Vince McMahon is one of the greatest show promoters ever to walk the face of this earth. He really is. He's had a downtick over the last decade. But if there's somebody that knows how to do it, between him and Don King, I don't know who I would choose, but those are two of the greatest ever. But The Rock, I would say there could be some shoes that are filled by him. By him and what do they call it? A group of people with a bunch of money. I don't know, whatever the term is. Tom, go ahead, take that away from me. An investment group, whatever. But I couldn't think about it. What do you guys think about that? What do you think? You think it's going to be an actual league that comes through and is playing in competition? Well, maybe not competition with the NFL, but like some spring ball.
Don King is from Cleveland, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
No, Don King, I believe it. That boy has Cleveland swagger. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the first thing I ever saw in WWE. I didn't know for everyone that's watching, all 39 of you, I didn't know what WWE really was until about 2 months ago. Okay. And I saw The Rock take 30 minutes to walk all of 40 yards. That is a showman right there. And I was hooked instantly. I thought The Rock was just an actor from Ballers. Okay. So him buying the XFL for $15 million, his part is $15 million. I don't think that he's going to do it and make it a football league. I think what he's doing is something very smart. I think he's buying the assets, he's buying the trademarks, he's buying the rights to these teams. So later, when a serious buyer comes in, he can then own those rights and sell everything off. Because what is The Rock before anything? He's a business. He's not a businessman. He's a business man, like my boy Sean Carter once said. And he's all right. So I really think The Rock is doing this as a true investment. Buy things, sell them off. I applaud it, man. That dude has a business acumen, and I like Danny said, the XFL is never going to compete, man. And The Rock knows that. He's just doing it to get that money. He's a hustler, homie.
I can see some. So America loves football, and if you had football on 12 months a year, America will watch football 12 months a year. This last incarnation of the XFL was not a joke. It was good football. It was interesting to watch. They treated it like a football game, not like a wrestling match like they did before. What they did was they took all of the things you pissed and moaned about the NFL and improved on those. Now, will they ever be bigger than them? Absolutely not. But
Never.
Will they play? Could they be a success during the offseason? Yeah. Yeah, because, you've got guys, there are 100 stories like Johnny Manziel. It's not just Johnny Manziel I'm talking about here. There's 100 guys like that. Before Johnny Manziel, you got, Ricky Williams, Josh Gordon, guys like, they couldn't get right in the NFL that if they were smart, Jamarcus Russell, that if they're smart, they can get them over there and keep it entertaining. You've got guys that go to schools like Texas Tech, Graham Harrell, remember back in the day, threw for like 100,000 yards, every year it seemed like. That you can make this entertaining form of football where if they could work with the NFL to embrace it, to almost be like a sharpener, to be not exactly a minor league, but somewhere where you can go cut your teeth, or, when injuries hit, we can maybe, keep an eye on guys like that. Sort of like they look at the Canadian Football League. There's a market there. There's a market there.
Well, Sammy, four guys got signed to the NFL after the XFL went under. I mean, it truly was acting as a pseudo development league.
Well, you know what? And I'm just going to comment to this too. That's a good point. How many D-League games did I watch? Not a ton, but you know what I did watch a shit ton of? Big Three.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I think that's the ceiling that XFL should be looking at, is the Big Three. Find a niche, stick it within that niche, and keep it entertaining.
Get Ice Cube.
Yeah, this year, I remember I watched quite a few XFL games on Saturday. They were running 2 on Saturday. They weren't bad. They were not NFL caliber XFL games, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like I was watching, just garbage on the field. I mean, there was a couple teams that weren't that great, but yeah, there's a good point. Watch more XFL games than the Cavs games this year. I mean, it was interesting. You didn't know what you were going to get out of any team. You know, why not? But so yeah, let's take it to business of the day. Get this rolling. I'm super excited to have Coach Buzz Edwards on here in a couple minutes. Got a special treat that I've lined up that I'm going to show you guys for our break. It'll be about a 3-minute break. But Sammy, I'm going to bring up the banner. I'm going to let you take it away.
Today's business of the day. I'm actually very excited about this. This is a really a great thing for me. So Wade's Possibilities. Wade's Possibilities was not open for a little while, and they are back, and they are back with a vengeance. Me and my family just went to go grab dinner there on Friday. Guys, I'm not kidding you. He makes the best pasta I've ever eaten. He learned from one of the best chefs. His customer service is second to none. When you walk in, you're walking into Wade's Possibilities, you're getting greeted with a smile, you're getting treated like a friend, and you're leaving with a belly full of greatness. My kids are, 13, 11, and 16 months old. So for me to find one place where I can feed everybody and everybody likes the food is very hard. But when it's Wade's night in this house, I know everybody's going to be satisfied. If you get a chance, if you want to grab a good meal, go eat at Wade's Possibilities. He does a great job. He's going to treat you like a friend. Get in there and check him out. Tell him 440 and Goal sent you. My favorite place to eat in Ashtabula, especially sit down. Me and my wife love it. I'm sure you and your significant other, or just you, are going to love it too.
Perfect. All right. Let me get that off there. All right, guys. So we're going to it's only going to be about a 3-minute break tonight. Usually we do 4, but I just had a special thought on why Friday night lights are so special. My wife will love this. So I'm going to pop this up here on the screen, and then I'm going to take me.
Hold on, we're trying to get this sound figured out, guys.
So I screwed it up. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Here we go. It should be good now.
The Lakeside High School Dragon Marching Band, and we are donning the green
Colors.
and gold today.
Yeah.
Our school spirit.
We did pretty good matching them.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, go Lakeside.
They sound good.
They
really
sound
do.
great.
Got a big
Yes.
game tonight, too.
And welcome back, everybody. Yeah, it is game time. I'm not sure where Tom went. Who knows? We will get him on. Well, when he's back, he's back. We'll work on it then. But let's just get into it. Me and Sammy and Tom have been pumped about this since we talked to Buzz last Saturday. Let's bring him on in. If everyone can give a warm welcome to head coach of the Lakeside Dragons, Buzz Edwards.
Buzz Edwards in the house.
Hey, how you doing, Coach?
How's it going?
Yeah, boy. It's going great. Super excited to have you. We've been pumped about it. As we talked before, me and Sammy are Lakeside alum. Lakeside is a near and dear spot to us. And always has been and always will be from this point. Well, not this point forward, but moving forward in every way, shape, or form. There you go, Sammy. Counted number 3, I think. So how's your night going, Coach?
Going good, man. I've been actually took this opportunity to lay back, sit back, and listen to y'all's show, and just enjoyed it. And take some time off. Had some film going up in the background practice today, and just taking a little time here in the office. I set up my back job. My girlfriend's probably gonna be mad at me. Alyssa, I'm sorry I took over your office here. And I want to do something nice for the boys down here, right? Brian, you know what? If you're not gonna,
you got to do it for the boys.
If you're not gonna wear the shirt, you should have told me. I would have kept it, given it to somebody who appreciates it. You got it. You're up there. I see you. Sammy appreciates it.
You know what? I'll be back. I can't do it. I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'll be back.
Hurry up, man. Clock's ticking. Clock's ticking.
I'll tell you what, Coach. We're really honestly super excited to get you on here. It's what we were talking about in the front half of the show is, with all this uncertainty and everything, is there going to be a season? Isn't there going to be a season? You guys are going. It's as far as you're concerned, as far as your boys are concerned, it's a season. Let's go. Let's get back. Let's get onto it and start the grind, right?
Yes, absolutely. We got the green light, to start practicing on the 1st. We have all the procedures in place with the social distancing and the mask and the pretty much the same policies we'd carried over since we started in the off season. And as far as we're concerned, we're playing on September 28th at home versus Struthers, and we're going to go toe-to-toe with them, and should be a good test for us to start the season.
Yeah, no, and just kind of talking about that, getting into. So when you've been with the program for a couple of years now, program's obviously changing every year. It's developing, it's evolving into Lakeside's turning into Buzz's program. Buzz's shot now.
There he is.
There he is.
I got it. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like a total turd for not having it on. I'll rock it all day long. Come on.
Dragons taking it over.
I don't know what I missed.
No, I was just talking about, getting, been there a couple of years trying to get your own flavor, your own stamp on this program. You're starting to gain some juice. You got guys behind you. You got kids that really are, seniors that coming in this year, juniors coming in this year that have Buzz Edwards flavor of, of how a football player should be. And then we get the ultimate curveball. This isn't even a curveball. This is like a 12-6. This is a knuckleball. What is going on? So how do you how do you kind of pivot with this? I know through talking to you and looking through some of your past and stuff like that, you've got a great coaching lineage and you're coming from a great coaching tree, but even then, are you using that stuff to kind of just evolve? Because obviously you've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's it's unprecedented. It is kind of like it's a little disappointing when you think about it, trying to get motivated to work, and we put so much time and energy into it, the kids and our staff and myself to get it rolling. And then you get this, backdoor slider from, Randy Johnson, and the first time we ever threw one, you're like, holy cow, how do we handle it? Like we talked about today, and you're talking about how far the program's gone. Like we got to practice today at 8:10, and kids reported and checked in and took their temperatures and got their stuff and got ready to go. We rolled out there. We're just about to break it down, and the horn went off. And when the horn goes off, that means there's lightning within 10 miles. So, there was a number of our players were upset, and visibly upset and pissed off. And they came and told me that, and they told our coaching staff that. And, 2 years ago, even last year, I don't know how many kids on our roster were upset when the horn went off, So I think our kids and that happens when you invest the time and the energy and the effort that we ask of our kids to put in. It means more to them than just going out to play football. And I talk about it too. I talk to them all the time about the difference between a football player and a kid who plays football, and when you're a football player, that kind of takes priority in your life. And if you're just a kid that plays football, then you got all these other things going on that are more important at the time. And I think right now on our roster, and it's taken a couple of years, but we got a bunch of football players and not a bunch of kids who just play football.
Yeah, because you got to sell these kids on the goal. And I think that's one of the things, the hurdles that you would have had coming into this school. We talked about it when we first got to meet you. There wasn't a lot of success. So trying to get kids invested into something on building and stuff like that. I think you're doing a great job. I think I love seeing the numbers where they are. I love seeing kids out there. I love getting the athletes out of the stands and onto the field. I think has been my number one complaint for years. I hate going to a football game and seeing, a big athletic kid, sitting there while I'm watching, offensive linemen, get blown over. So right. I think you're doing a great job of trying to get that out. And like you just said, when kids are upset that they're not practicing, man, you're doing something right.
Yep.
Right. And Sam, there's no one more disappointed walking down the hallways and seeing the kids that won't buy in and they won't commit to what we're doing, and we do everything we can to get them there. I got a great Go On Cub, our booster club, and a great group of parents and our seniors that they drive around, they pick kids up, they drop them off. We're trying to provide all of our players with a family type atmosphere where they know they got help even if they don't have it at the house, and with our coaching staff and with the support system we have in place. So it breaks my heart too, but sometimes you gotta set that line. You gotta set the expectation. You do everything you can to get them there, and sometimes they still don't make it. And it doesn't matter how hard you're pulling or how hard everybody's pulling to get those guys rolling in the same direction. Sometimes you just got to cut bait and try it again, the next offseason or whatever. And then that's I would attribute our numbers the last 2 years to that. Anytime you have a change of leadership and a change of culture, you have some conflict and some turbulence to get through, and we've worked through, and we've got two kids back that played a bunch for us at sophomores that are back this year as seniors. And we got some kids that I recruited actively in the hallway, and they told me to go to hell, and I kept on them, and we kept on them, and our other coaches, our basketball coaches kept on them. We have, we got some long athletic dudes out this year. We got five basketball players that started on our basketball team at one point last year are out for football this year, whereas last year we only had one or two. So, getting those kids out and just constantly recruiting the hallways and telling them. And I think that what sells itself the most is the kids. The kids that are bought in, the ones that are showing up every day. We had our best summer attendance since I've been here. We had 14 kids not miss a day all summer. We had another 17 kids only miss one day. So out of 56 kids on our roster, 31 kids either showed up every day or only missed one day. And that's pretty good. I put that up against about anybody in the area, and then we had another 10 or 12 that only missed 2 or 3 days. So, and once those kids, our best recruiters, and I tell our kids, our captains this all the time, like the best recruiters we have, I can sell it and I can give them free candy bars and peanut butter sandwiches and whatever, and tell them how good put the work in, But our best recruiters for our program are our players, because they'll sell the experience.
Yep.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ray. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I may have missed it. I don't think I did, but I just, I wanted you to take a moment, Coach. I know you've been at the program. This is your third year, correct?
Yes, sir. I got here in March. Yeah, March of 17. So the school board and the principal at the time, Don Rapuse, who's now a board member for us. Mike Cochran, who was our AD at the time, got me in at the middle of the year in March. So that's when we started workouts immediately. So this will be my third season, but it's like 3 and some change.
Right. So for all the audience, and let me tell you, man, we're rolling 51 deep right now. Let's keep pumping those numbers. Everyone out there, let's go, Dragon Nation, man, get it pumped up. But why don't you,
My girlfriend's at her uncle's birthday party, who's actually our Booster Club president. There's about 25 people there all sitting and watching on one phone. So they're
shout out to
watch party. Boochko ain't no watch party.
Yeah, he's watching too, boy. I'll tell you. But take a minute, because I don't know if a lot of people, that's watching it, we got a lot of, here we go and let's go, coach, all that. But take a minute and just, give us a brief background of your history, where you came from, what you did and why you did it. And, maybe some goals, talk about your staff, kind of go down the line a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. I grew up in Eastlake, right down the road, about 40 minutes. I graduated from Eastlake North in 1999. I was a 3-year starter at Eastlake for both the offensive and defensive line. I went to Mount Union as I thought I was Warren Sapp. I got there and quickly found out that I was an offensive lineman, which was totally fine because I didn't have to lose any weight or anything like that. And I played football at Mount Union for 3 years. I was academically ineligible. It would have been my 4th year, which I used that experience in the way that I felt like. I remember when Coach Montgomery called me in office like the 3rd, 4th day of practice, and I had taken summer classes and thought that I had enough credits. And he told me I couldn't play football anymore. And I cried for like 2 days. I didn't know what to do. And at that point, I guess it kind of hit me right square in the face that football for me going forward was pretty much over. So I graduated from Mount Union in 2004. I was lucky enough to be on two national championship teams, which was an awesome experience. I played for Coach Larry Karras, who's the all-time winningest coach in NCAA history. Coach Montgomery was defensive coordinator on that staff. If I got going on it, we don't have enough time to talk about how good that coaching staff was. Joe Lee was my D-line coach when I got there. Joe Cockley was a former head coach at Alliance. Rudy Sharkey, awesome offensive line coach. He was the head coach at Barberton for over 10 years. So that was an awesome experience. Also there, like talking ball was kind of what we did. I remember going up in the Gulling Center and talking football and with, I played with Matt Campbell, who's head coach at Iowa State, and Jason Candles at Toledo, and Nick Sirianni is offensive coordinator for the Colts. Like they were all on the same team. And that's just the big name guys. The DB coach at West Virginia, Capone, he was on that team. So there's a boatload of guys there. So I graduated Mount Union 2004. I came home. I ran into my old head coach, Dan Kakura, at Panini's in Willoughby, and he asked me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm roofing, landscaping, and substitute teaching." And he said, "Well, why don't you come coach some football?" And I said, "All right, that sounds fun." So he hired me as the middle school defensive coordinator and offensive line coach and head strength and conditioning coach for the high school at Kirtland. It was the year before Tiger Laverde took over, and I interviewed with Tiger before I moved to Virginia, and unfortunately didn't have a teaching position, and I ended up moving down to Dinwiddie County, Virginia, in about a half hour, 45 minutes south of Richmond. Worked with a guy named Billy Mills, who's one of the best head coaches that I know at any level. And he took me under his wing and kind of taught me everything he knew. And it was an awesome experience. I was on staff there with 3 guys that were almost the same. We were all about the same age. Jim Henderson's a head coach down in Virginia, and they played Dinwiddie, and they were probably giving their toughest game every year. Adam Fisher's a head coach in Minnesota. David Davis, those guys are tremendous learning atmosphere. And you want to talk about a guy that really teach you how to work and grind and be selfless for your players. And that's what I learned from Billy. And then we were successful at Dinwiddie, very similar, like I talked to you guys the other day. In 2000, Dinwiddie County played for a state championship, and then they went 1-49 over the next 5 years. And that one win was Coach Mills' 10th game, his first year there. So they were 0-9, and he won the last game. And you talk about going through the process of building a program and flipping a culture of a school building. And I was on the ground floor of that and got to experience going through that. And it was a tremendous learning experience for me as a coach and as a person, to getting people rowing in the same direction and understanding, how programs are built from the ground up and investing your time in the kids that are investing in you and all that stuff. And through our hard work and grinding, I just got a text from my college roommate, Archie Tortoreese, was on that staff at Dinwiddie too. I played with him at Mount Union. He's from Pittsburgh. I got some other Pittsburgh blockhead friends I know are watching too, TJ and Bone. So I just want to give them a shout out real quick.
Shout out to the guys.
Yeah, shout out the boys. They're my swamp boys. All right. But we ended up going to the second year. We went my first year there, we went 3-7, then we went 9-2, then we went 13-2, and we were state runners up. And after that, I think coach, since that year in 2007, when we went 9-2, I don't think Coach Mills has had a season with less than 7 wins, and they got it rolling there still now. In 2000, after the 2009 year, I got an opportunity to go coach tight ends and be assistant O-line coach at Troy University for John Schlarman, who's now the offensive line coach at Kentucky. And I went down there, and I wasn't going to go. And Coach Mills said, "You know what, man? If you don't take that job, you're fired, because that's the only thing you're going to have." So when he told me that, I knew it was probably the best thing for me to go. And I went down there, and we went 8-4 and won a bowl game down in New Orleans. We beat Ohio University. I left that job and took the offensive line coach and run game coordinator position at University of Central Oklahoma, a D2 school. And I kind of jumped into the job to work with a good friend of mine, Chase Harp, who him and I did the offense together, and along with our receiver coach, Pat Kennedy. And it didn't work out. Sometimes you're in situations that don't work. It wasn't it was a bad situation. We went 2-9, and unfortunately, at the end of the year, the head coach got fired, and the rest of us got fired as well. So I kind of was talking back and forth with Coach Mills and ended up going back to Dinwiddie as offensive coordinator. And in 2013, we won the state championship, and then we played for another one in 2016 and took runners up there. And I moved on from Dinwiddie and took my first head coaching job at Colonial Heights High School, who was on Dinwiddie's schedule. And the year before I took over, I told you guys a story the other day, year before I took over, I remember I was getting dog cussed coming down we played at Colonial Heights in 2016, and I'm coming down the bleachers at halftime, and their Fellowship of Christian Athletes supervisor or representative was calling me every name in the book, and I didn't know. And I'm like, what? Well, it was 56-0 at halftime, but I think we only ran 8 or 12 offensive plays because we scored. We returned a punt. We blocked a punt for a touchdown. We returned a kickoff for a touchdown. And the final score ended up being 77-0. And then I took over that program at Colonial Heights, and they didn't have a middle school team at the time, so we started a middle school program. We bridged the gap between the youth program and middle school program, which I think is extremely important. And we started building, and then the Lakeside job came up, and I had told multiple friends of mine. The first time it came up, I applied for it before they hired Coach Hall, and I had a phone interview, and it just didn't work out. I think it was maybe 2010, 2011 or 12, I believe. And then that was it. And I said, if that job ever opens up again, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna do the best I can to get it and move back home and coach the football and be closer to my family and near and dear to my heart, Northeast Ohio. So it came open. I interviewed. It was like I drove up on Thanksgiving break and interviewed for it, and I was driving home on Sunday back down to Virginia, and I got called and offered the job. And then it took a little while to sort out teaching positions and everything else after that. And now we're here. So I'm excited to be here. I live in Ashtabula. I bought a house in Saybrook. I live about 2 miles, not even 2 miles from the school. So I'm up there all the time. I love living in Ashtabula. You know, there's so much this city has to offer with Bridge Street and the beaches and the lakes. It's beautiful out here. Summers up here are fantastic. I love living here, man. My girlfriend's born and raised in Ashtabula. She's like, I'm not staying in Ashtabula my whole life. I'm
that's because she knows what the winters can be like here. That's why I love how you churched it up during the summertime. It is beautiful, but let's be honest, it's a train wreck during the middle of winter around this place. When you walk out your door and you walk through 4 foot of snow to get to your car, it ain't no good. That's just what.
It makes you hurting, right? Put the meat on your bone.
Hey,
as my father-in-law would say, hardy pioneer stock. Call it whatever you want to call it. But
listen, we don't get hurricanes, earthquakes, too many, and the only thing we have to deal with, all we have to deal with here is a little bit of snow. Throw your boots on, put a coat on, and live it up. I love the fact that you talk about, you know, Ashtabula having stuff to offer too, because I think that's one of the things here that's important too, is this community in particular, you have to buy in. You have to buy in. If you're not buying in on the community, if you are a head coach of a football team and you're not buying in on that community, I don't understand how you can be successful, because you are coaching the community's kids. So, you know, I think that's really great.
I agree 100%, Sammy. It's you know, that's Bones right there.
Yeah, I figured I had to throw it up there. I had to throw it up there.
Well, I agree with you, man. Like I think it's extremely important to live in the community you work in, you know, and especially as a head football coach. And I'm on call 24/7, and Alyssa's, my girlfriend's, awesome with that. And you know, I got a phone call last night at 10:45 from a kid that wants to come out and kick, and I'm like, come on out, man. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's rock and roll, you know. So, you know, I'm on call for these kids 24/7. It's a full-time gig. It's 24/7, 365. And I think to be successful, you have to run it that way. And also, like, you know, what message are you sending that community when you don't work there as a head football coach? And that's not why I moved here, because I found a spot and I loved it. And I'm like, hell, Ryan, I live me and Ryan are neighbors.
I don't know nothing.
I could be sitting down in his basement doing it with him. You know, we could be sitting.
Maybe I'll walk over during the middle of the show.
Get a beer or two with you. But I think it's important, and you got like you said, Sam, you got to buy in, man. And I love this town. It's a bunch to offer. I love our kids. I love our parents. I love these people around here, man. And you guys know, I heard who was talking about Sammy seen his jersey running. I think I seen that guy running around number 20.
Yeah,
right?
I'm telling you, I've been half tempted to just keep a 20 or a 50 in the wallet and just pull off to the side of the road. Like, all right, bud, what's it going to take?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you need to get a Lakeside number 20 jersey, I know a guy. That might be able to
all right,
hey, listen,
here we go.
Hey, listen, Coach, it's not the small anymore. That cat's running an XL now. I'll tell you.
Put it on the hanger.
That's it.
Put it on the back of the there, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
look at you.
That's right.
Oh, it fell. Damn it. See what you did, Coach?
Hey, Coach.
I got it, though. I got it.
Real quick, I got to shout out Coach Rich, man. I love when Coach Rich comes up and talks to our guys. But there he is right there. Coach Rich.
Oh, let me tell you, Coach Rich don't miss a beat.
No, man. He was telling me he used to call you guys, Ryan, you were Twinkie, and Sammy, you were Swiss Roll. He said that's what your nicknames were back in the day.
Yeah.
Twinkie and Swiss Roll. Somebody had to about being soft. Oh, no.
Hey, he had a nickname for everybody. If there was 100 kids on the team, he had 100 nicknames. We had a kid named
them all.
Blue. Yeah, and remembered every one of them.
I never met him. I never played for him, but I think he's got a nickname for me right now that I don't think is appropriate for air, so we're not going to go into it.
But yeah, hey.
But
Hey,
I
Coach
actually had a
bring up.
question for you.
Go ahead. Yeah,
All
go
right,
ahead.
so Coach, you were talking about the community and where you're from in Virginia, where you were coaching high school football. And if I'm not mistaken, when you were in your Virginia high schools, you got to maybe see or play against some pretty prolific athletes. I mean, there was like a Juan Thornhill, there was Jordan Sewell, not the Keyshawn Johnson, but Keyshawn Johnson, who was a good receiver in his own right. Just some good names that eventually went D1, that some of them are in the NFL right now. Thornhill's starting defensive back for the Chiefs. What is the biggest difference you see in high school football in Virginia versus high school football up here in Ohio? Like, if there is any, like what are some of the differences? What are the similarities?
And I used to get that question all the time, Tom, when I first moved here. And we played against some really, really talented players. Who's the defensive end that what the heck's his name? I'm having a glitch here, but he just signed with the Seahawks. He played at Hopewell. Hopewell's running back right now is the number 1 running back in the country. He's committed to Ohio State. Dinwiddie, when I left Dinwiddie, Kayvon Pope, who plays linebacker at Ohio State.
Kayvon Pope.
Yeah, Kayvon was a sophomore on that team. There's so many good players. I can't even remember having. We played against God bless Jalen Holmes, who played defense at Ohio State. He was a Lake Taylor kid. We've had
Taylor.
Yeah, Darrell Taylor. That's it. His brother's Tobias Taylor, and he signed. He ended up at Virginia Union after some things didn't work out at Virginia Tech, and I think he just signed his free agent contract last year. So there's a bunch of guys. Got Quentin Spain. Played for Petersburg at defensive end. He's 6'8", 300 pounds. He plays for the Titans at right guard. So there's a bunch of kids, and we had I think 12 or 13 Division I players come out of Dinwiddie when I was coaching there. To answer your question, to me, the biggest difference is maybe like overall team speed. But I think when you get to the top, like, Hoban's going to be able to match up with anybody. Massillon match up with anybody in the country. Ignatius, Menor, all the big boys. Those top tier programs are going to be able to match up with anybody. But I think that, to me, what separates Virginia football from Ohio football is like the ability and the level of coaching that happens up front. I think that's one thing that separated us at Dinwiddie County from some of the other teams down there, is that we had 2 northern line play, like a northern line play guy, me coaching O-line, and TJ Meaner, who is a defensive line coach there. He was from Pittsburgh and played at IUP. So, I think that's what it's just kind of the expectation, the grind that you put your offensive line through, the mental toughness stuff you develop. I think the offensive line play and the defensive line play up here in Ohio is just a tad better than what you'd see on an everyday basis at every level down in Virginia.
Hey, did you guys ever play Warwick?
Warwick, no. Warwick, no, we didn't. They're like a 7-5-7 team over there. We never played against them. Like, we played in 2008. We played the state championship. Taj Boyd was their quarterback.
Listen, Warwick had his quarterback.
What's that?
I don't know if you've ever heard. Warwick had a pretty damn good quarterback back in the day, and I don't know if you know who he is, but he's my favorite football player of all time.
Oh,
and his name happens to be Michael Vick. No.
That's a running joke, Coach.
They played at Warwick. I've always kind of, followed Virginia football a little bit after I saw the product that came out of there.
Right. Russell, the quarterback for the Seahawks, he's from
Russell Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. He played quarterback at at Collegiate or one of the private schools in Virginia. And Virginia's a little bit different with that. The private schools, they don't play in the VHSL. So they're separate. So take your Lake Catholics, your Ursulines and stuff, and you take them out. They play in their own leagues, and they have their own state champion. But it's still really good football.
I'm glad you said that because I've actually I meant to ask this to a couple of the other coaches too, but that was at one time being brought up for Ohio. How do you feel about parochial and public having separate championships? Just because at one time it was believed that the parochials had the upper hand because I guess they could technically recruit.
Right. I mean, bring them on, man. Like, I know they got tradition, but let's play ball. Let's put the ball down and let's go. And I think if you're building your program the right way and you're starting with the youth league and you're developing relationships with your players and those kids will have a choice on where they want to go to school when it's time for them to choose. And if you have a great relationship and you do a good job with and you build your program the right way, those kids will choose to go to your school. It's just like out here, we have open enrollment. These kids in Ashtabula, they could choose to go to Edgewood after their 8th grade. They could choose to go to Lakeside. They could choose to go to Jefferson, as long as they have transportation, And I think I attribute a lot of that success to Coach Laverde at Tiger at Kirtland. When I was coaching at Kirtland, those kids would play middle school football at Kirtland. Our 2 best football players ended up going to Lake Catholic. And when the year I left, the Chase Houndshell kid, I think he went to Miami of Ohio, played defensive end or something. He was like a 3-year starter at Lake Catholic, but he lived in Kirtland. And I think all those schools out east of us, East Lake North and Willoughby South and even Menor have done a really good job of building programs and relationship with those kids and in their youth league and keeping those kids in. And that's why you don't see the loads. There's still very good programs like Catholic and the parochial school, but you don't see every kid from East Lake and Warwick going to Lake Catholic anymore.
So you touched on youth football. You are very involved, much like a couple of the coaches we got on here, with the Freeway League, with Lakeside's youth, you can't say midget league anymore, so whatever it is, the kiddie league,
as you said, it's fine.
So you're involved with that, but Ashtabula has a special problem in that there are 2. Do you find that to be a problem?
Yeah, I mean, we our youth program does a really good job, and I have to do a better job of getting a little bit more involved with them during their season. I'll pop in and watch a game here and there, and I want to, but I gotta start developing a relationship with some of those coaches. I have Demetrius Baker and Kevin Crockett and Sam Cancel. They all coach down at the youth league level, and now they're all coaching junior high. Yeah, so now they're all junior high coaches.
D-Train, baby.
Yeah. I love Meach, man. He's a good dude.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to tell this in person because his head's already giant, but that guy, now you want to talk about he's one of the best defensive ends I've ever seen. One of the best defensive ends that's ever played at Lakeside. Was a ridiculous monster on the defensive end. And he played running back, but he takes really little steps, so.
Hey, real quick.
He has fantastic footwork. He pirouetted after he swung in golf. Literal pirouette.
Hey, I want you, because we're getting deep into the conversation here, but before that, talk a little bit about your staff for us.
Oh yeah,
I want to make sure we get a good shout out to them, because I know they're probably all watching right now, so we got to talk about them a little bit. So, but yeah, talk about your staff a little bit. Who's doing what? Why they're doing it?
Well, we're in a little bit unique of situation here. We have 5 varsity coaches, and those same 5 guys are going to coach the JVs too. So we've kind of restructured the way we practice. But I got a good group of guys that are experienced, and we're all on the same page, and they're varsity level coaches. And for us, I told the JV team today, like the coaching they're getting now will pay dividends for our program down the road. But Coach Bobby Fry is a school down the road grad. That school that wears red. That's right down 20 on the other side of the bridge. He graduated there. He's a Mount Union guy. He was He played at Mount Union for Coach Karras as well. He coached college football for over 20 years at multiple different levels as a head coach and assistant and as a coordinator. He's been invaluable in his knowledge of football and alignments and plays, and he's probably forgotten more football. Yep, Freiberger. He's probably forgot more football than I know, and it's great to have a guy like that on staff, especially when it comes back around. What we're starting to see more is, what was once old becomes new again. We're getting more wing teams and more dive teams and more power eye teams and stuff like that. So teams are starting to load the box up now because everybody's spread out. So they want to be different. So they load it up. So having him on staff to have some adjustments and things like that's great. My brother is the offensive coordinator. He coaches the quarterbacks, and he's taking the quarterbacks and the cornerbacks this year. He coached with me at Dinwiddie for 4 years. He's coached 3 All-State quarterbacks in his time and 6 years of coaching down there. He was offensive coordinator at King William the year they played in the state semifinal game to go to the state finals. So he's a spread guy, and he's kind of my passing game guy. I lean heavy on him to do that. I do the offensive line, coach the linebackers. I got Josh Hartz. Josh, I tried to hire Josh 2 years ago when I got here. It just didn't work out. Josh he's like the modern day Brady Bunch. He's got 4 kids and married a woman with 4 kids. So, it just didn't work out. So, he's awesome.
He's 3/4 of the way to his own football team.
Yeah, right. That's what he said. He's a high energy guy, and he gets after them. And I got him out coaching receivers. He played football, baseball, and basketball over there at Geneva, the other school down the road that wears red the other way on 84. And he does a good job. But then I got him coaching outside linebackers, and he's also the head baseball coach at Geneva, but he teaches in our building. So I'm glad to have him. I'm glad we can make it work out. And then I brought up from the junior high team, one of my best friends growing up, Byron Floyd. He ran the Great Lakes League, the youth league out there. He ran the entire league for Willoughby as a coach. And he ran the league as president for the Willoughby League, and then ran as a coach. And in his final year, he was president of the entire league. And then 2 years ago, he spent a year at Kirtland coaching, calling the JV defense. And then last year, he came up and worked and called our junior high defense last year. His son finished up at Mentor last year, and now his schedule's a little bit free, so he can come and coach. And that's what we got on the varsity and the JV. And I'm excited. We shout out to those guys. I don't know if they're watching. They're probably freaking sleeping because we started practice at 8:30 this morning. And the way we're practicing, the coaches don't get a break. They get about 30 minutes. So they went from 8:30 to about 2:30 today with a 30-minute break, man. And their voices all sound like mine, and we're getting after these guys and going like that. And then I think I got one of the best junior high coaching staffs in the state, and maybe even this region of the country.
Yes, sir.
Terry Henton coached with me for 2 years in the varsity. His daughter's going to be in the junior high, so he wants in kind of a twofold deal. He wants to go be there where his daughter's at, but I need someone to get our junior high program rolling in the right direction, and he's a perfect fit for that. So it worked out perfectly for us. He's down there with Ryan McKendry, who coached outside linebackers for us on the varsity last year, and Jacob Pank, who was a JV offensive line coach for us 2 years ago. So we've got 3 guys on our junior high staff that coach with me, so they know the expectation, they know the standard, they know what's acceptable and what's not. And then those 3 guys are hey, still up. So I hope you're drinking water, Junior. But having those guys, and then Kevin Crockett, who's the president of the Lakeside Youth Football League, does a tremendous job with getting those kids out and coaching them up. And he's got, Meach, who's been with him, and also Sam Cancel. Big Sam does a hell of a job, man. And as those guys progress and get to know our offense and our defensive systems better, I'm going to pull those guys up through the ranks. And we've already talked about it. And, we'll keep, we're going to use that junior high program as kind of a farm system and for our coaching staff. And as they learn and get better and they free it up and it becomes, more of a priority for them because their kids are on the team and they want to come up and coach JV and varsity, and then we'll bring them up, and then we'll rock and roll.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a benefit? What I assume there would be a benefit, but what kind of benefits do you think are going to come up with, so say you got a guy like Terry Henton. So he's junior high this year, running a 7th, 8th grade kid, and then he, moves up into there. Is there a benefit of having a kid coach follow him up into high school?
Yeah, I don't know. We when I was at Dimity County, it's similar to what we did down there. We had some fathers, some dads start out coaching junior high and move up with them. I'm sure that when you develop relationships with the kids and they come up with you and you earn that trust and they know you and you know them and they know where the line is. And I think there's probably a lower learning curve when they get up to the high school level because of the experience with the coach and Terry's doing a great job. What he's already instructed that our junior high staff's going to go down and coach our youth league teams. They're going to coach the coaches of the youth league. So as they finish practice 2 days a week, when our middle school kids go home, our junior high kids go home, the coaching staff's going to stay 30 minutes with the Lakeside youth football kids. And that's you're saying, Sammy, like if that other league can offer that, then come on with it. But Lakeside youth football is directly connected with Lakeside high school football and Lakeside junior high football. The other league that's going on in our community right now, and I'm not taking this, I'm not bashing anybody. I've never met them, and I'm sure they do a heck of a job, but it's not unified. And what we're trying to do here at Lakeside is unify our football programs, unify our school, and unify our community all through hard work and reaching out and helping people that need help.
That's really what I was getting at with that is that unity, because I think one of the things you see out here for the successful programs are when kids get to 9th grade, they're not learning an offense. You as a head coach get to perfect them. So they know the basics of the offense. So you don't have to, we kind of talked about you run a little bit of a spread, kind of a spread offense. And these kids aren't coming up here and learning, they didn't run power I all the way until they're, a freshman in high school. And now they have to learn how to, space out as a receiver. I think there are some benefits to that.
Absolutely. And whenever there's continuity and stability there, and that's Terry's big goal. He's like, I'm going to coach them up. So when they come up to you, it's not the first time they're doing something, it's not the first time they're hearing what a stick route is. It's not the first time they're hearing what an MOR is. It's not the first time they're hearing what a vertical set is. And I've snuck out there. I don't know if they've seen me because they're out there busy working and I've seen them out there coaching all summer at the junior high workouts and in these first couple of days of camp, and they're doing a heck of a job. And I'm just hope to get it rolling, keep it rolling.
You're like the neighbor peeking through the mini blind, to see what's going on next door. Just peeking through, watching the other people.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
Coach, I gotta ask you, Coach. What is it gonna take for Lakeside to take the Bridge Trophy back this year?
Well, number one thing and our biggest goal in this offseason is we got to get better on defense. And we got to tackle better. We got to run to the ball better. We got to play together better. We got to communicate better, and that's really the key. If we can stop people and we can get after people on defense and put the pressure on offense, I think we'll be in a better position to be successful, not just against some dudes down the road, but against everybody.
I love it. I love the references.
You got to give credit where credit's due, man. Like Booch had them coached up, and those kids are ready to go, and he's done a really good job. And that's why I tell our kids that they're not afraid of us. They're not afraid of us anymore. In the past, it was kind of like big brother, little brother, and they're not taking no gruff or no crap off us. So, if we want it, we got to go take it, just like big brother does. And they came out last year and they knocked us in the mouth, and they did a good job. And Coach had them ready to go, and hats off to them. But we use it as a learning experience, put it behind us, and hopefully. Our kids remember what that feels like. They remember that tastes like, and I think that's part of the reason why they were a little bit upset today when we didn't get opportunity to practice because they could still feel that burning in their gut after that game. Because I don't know if that one didn't sit well with me or any of them. So we're working as hard as we can to get that trophy back.
That to me is the sign of a good program. So trophies are created by adults, but if the kids are buying in on the trophy, then you're doing your job. You're doing your job as a coach, because if there's some pride in that bridge, Battle of the Bridge has become probably, before, it used to be Ashtabula and Harbor, and that's what I grew up on, that kind of rivalry. And, on Ashtabula and Harbor, football games, those days, you didn't talk to anybody who was from the other side of the bridge. And it's getting that feeling again. We see, they call you guys Lakeside, or they call you guys Bayside, which I'm like, what's going on here? So, it's good to see that, because that passion shows that people give a crap again. And that's what I love about it.
Do you guys, so I got two questions for you. Do you guys have a nickname for Edgewood?
I got to know that too.
Yeah, it's a burning question.
Well, we kind of handle it. We kind of handle it like Ohio State, Michigan deal. We don't. We try not. We respect them. We really do. We respect them as an opponent. We know that they're coached up really well. We know that they are. They're confident in what they do, and they do a good job over there. But we don't really talk about not just them, but about any of our opponents. It's really more about doing what we do. On the schedule, though, it does say SDTR or the school down the road. So,
so school down the road. SDTR. You were right the first time. And question 2 for you. I keep seeing on your guys' shirts, EAT with an extra E. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. When I sat in with our captains and earlier in the year, we kind of wanted to have a unified rally slogan this year of what we're going to be about. And it's basically the foundations of our program, to get this turned and to get this ship turned around and go in the right direction. We need to be the first E stands for extra or extraordinary. So I tell our kids all the time, is that ordinary? Is that extraordinary? The ordinary is easy. Being extraordinary is difficult, and we want to be extraordinary in 3 things: our effort, our attitude, and our toughness. So our goal is when we go out on that football field every day, and it's not just a football field, when we're at the house, when adversity hits us, when our girlfriend breaks up with us, when we fail a test, what do you do? Are you living by that creed? Are you exhibiting extra effort, attitude, and toughness? I fumbled that one there for a second. Are you doing that? Is it more, right? Because it's like we could say what we're doing is enough, and we're just going to keep pounding the stone, whatever. But it's not enough. It hasn't worked. Like what we're doing the last 2 years, and it's the first thing as a head football coach, you got to take inventory of what you got, and what you're doing, and like what we're doing. We've changed a lot of things that we're doing because what we've done the last 2 years isn't working, and we have that approach as a coaching staff and as our kids, and we break it down on it ever since we started winter workouts in December before Christmas break. Extraordinary effort, attitude, and toughness, and that if we can all do that every day, better than everybody else, we're going to be the best in the state at those 3 things. And if we can do that, then we'll get this thing going in the right direction.
Yeah. Hey, kudos to you for recognizing that, man. Kudos.
Coach, I want to ask before we get out of here, because after all, this whole thing and us trying to put together a media outlet of sorts and is recognition of the kids, man, because I know back when we were in high school, we had a guy around here by the name of Joe Pete, and Joe Pete gave out weekly awards, and we were talking about, a T-shirt with your name on it or a T-shirt with an award name on it was the best thing you could get back in the day. So one of the things we're trying to do is keep an eye on and asking coaches, who are some kids we need to watch out for this year?
Well, the best thing about having a young team last year is they're all back. So, we got a lot of kids back in a lot of spots. Last year we started 6 different guys, 7 different people, 7 different players on the offensive line, and we didn't play the same combination of players up front until about week 6, back to back. So, we got a really good tackle, really special player, Sam Petros, and he's going to be a real good player for us. We got a couple two-way guys that are going to be we're going to lean heavily on. They got to continue doing what they're doing. And Caleb Steen is a two-way lineman that's going to have a really good season. He'll be a third-year starter for us. Junior Valerano played a bunch for us last year. He played guard last year. He started 4 games at guard at 155 pounds. That just kind of tells you a little bit how tough he is. And now he's 175 pounds, almost 180, because he wrestles and he dedicated his time to the weight room and eating, and he was down in my room making 4 or 5 peanut butter sandwiches a day. So, yeah. So
hey,
Junior.
Shots fired from across the bridge. I just got to throw that out there.
Everybody knows Butchko can't read or write. It's so crazy.
Oh, no.
Here we
go. Here we go.
Bing, bing, round one, baby.
Coach, I had to take that one. It was too easy. But we had our running back last year was second team all CVC as a freshman and second team all county. Jay Sean Sanders, he'll be a sophomore. He's had a really good offseason. I think he squatted 435, 435 last week in our testing. We got a pretty good crew that back there at running back. AJ Rafa, who's our team leader in tackles the last 2 years as a freshman, as a sophomore. He's back. He tied the school record with running like a sub 4.540. He's a track kid too. He works really hard. He's going to be split some time at running back. He's playing middle linebacker. Now we got some receivers. Chris Steele is a senior, plays inside receiver for us. He's a big target. He's going to play some linebacker too. Savion Colbert, he can roll. Kid's explosive.
That dude is fast.
That boy's
fast.
fast.
Watching some video of Max Preps, man. That brother's fast. He rolls down the sideline.
The biggest thing, we got to get Savion through a full year healthy. Last year, he had an ankle issue for about 3 weeks and got over it. And then his other ankle kind of gave him some issues. So he played banged up about seven weeks last year. And the year before, he broke his wrist versus Warren G. And we lost him for the last 5 games. So we gotta make sure that I've been feeding him vitamins and milk and chocolate milk and everything. That's about good, right? So, hey, those commercials on Saturday morning cartoon commercials. Hey, milk does the body good. Oh, damn. Get Savion a gallon a day so we can get him through a season.
We're going to buy that kid a cow.
Yeah.
Put him in the backyard.
Trying to figure if I left anybody out. We got some young guys that are some playmakers that need to step up a little bit. Angelo Colazzo started both ways for us. He's the kid that had the pick 6 against Harvey to seal the win for us. In overtime and second or third overtime, whatever it was. I think he missed 2 days all year in the off season. He played basketball. And then we got a battle at the quarterback position. Garrett Siebenek, who started for us last year, is having a heck of a camp, and he's progressing to where we want him to. He's about where he should be, but I think we got one of the best athletes in Ashtabula County, maybe the best athlete in Ashtabula County out for football this year, who hasn't played since his freshman year, in Brandon Ford. And Brandon Ford has done he hadn't missed a day all summer. He approached me about a week before the COVID shutdown and said, "Coach, I'm going to play football." And I said, "Well, you're going to have to earn it." And he said, "I got you, Coach." And he just kind of winked at me. He's got a little swag. I don't know if you know Brandon. He just kind of said, "I got you, Coach." And he kind of winked at me and jogged off into the sunset. And he's been a great teammate. He's been a great teammate and a great guy, but he's got to take the job. So Brandon, the thing about it is a good problem to have, because if we can move Brandon and put him in other spots, and Garrett could get him the football. But if we gotta push everybody. There's no positions on our team that aren't up for grabs. After coming off a 2-win season and a 1-win season, there ain't no. We have returning starters but all jobs are open. And our kids know that, and every day at practice has been a competition, and they're getting after each other. One more guy I want to recognize real quick is I failed to mention, who was a first team all county player last year, I believe, was Anthony Donahue, our defensive lineman. You want to talk about an explosive athlete? Anthony has a 30-inch vertical. He ran a 4.66, I think. He's about 6'3", 240 right now, about 225. So he's going to be a little. He's going to be a handful up front for some teams. He plays defensive line for us. So, and we're going to move some things and do some things so we can kind of let him play some football. And we got a bunch of young kids that got to step up. And after day 2. We still got a lot of question marks. We have a couple guys, go down with some injuries that lost some times, and some guys stepped up. We have a really talented freshman class that's up. I've been really pleased with their effort and their attention to detail and listening with our freshmen coming up, and our 10th grade class from last year too. So it's been a good 2 days, and we'll look forward to get after it a little bit more tomorrow.
I was going to say, you brought up the freshman class. Any freshmen going to play varsity this year at all?
I'll tell you, there's 2 kids. There's a handful of them. We got 3 really solid freshman linemen that we're looking at. One of them in the mix right now. We've got a receiver out there who played a bunch on the 8th grade team last year. That's got a chance, and 2 linebackers that I think could be pretty special. But the plan is not to play the freshmen. We went 2 years and played a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. So we've had the opportunity to kind of, I was using this term well before Fauci was flatten the curve, and we had to flatten that strength conditioning curve of our opponents. Weightlifting wasn't a thing that went on much before I got here for about a year and a half. And when I wasn't here, those kids went, let's say Thanksgiving. So November, December, January, February, March, they went 5 months without a weight conditioning program before I got the job here. So that's why it was important for me to get in here and try to flatten the curve as fast as we can. So, we're not, our roster isn't where some of our opponents are. Like, we rolled out and played West G. I think West G had 25 or 26 seniors, and we rolled out to play West G with 38 kids, so we're starting to get there. We got 10 seniors. We got 12 juniors. Our sophomore class, our biggest class right now, with about 20, and then our freshmen's around 22. So we're hovering about 55, 60 right now, and I'm excited. We're going to have a full JV team, and when we go down and coach the JVs, I'm going to go call the offense, and my coach Lou's going to call the defense. Some games I'm going to let a couple of the coaches on our staff call the games as well, so they get experience of some in-game stuff, and then plus they don't give me no crap the next day, and they realize how hard it
is. Coach, I want to ask you, because I've been wanting to ask you this since last year. We're not going to go through the whole season. It was kind of a tough season, but one game in particular, man, I thought Lakeside had adopted an arena football team. This Harvey game, I just kind of wanted to touch on 68 points scored in that game. So you said the defense was having struggles, but boy, your offense must not, because I don't know if my senior year we had 68 points for the season. So.
Yeah. No, that was really fun game. Like, I mean, it's emotional roller coaster, and some kids stepped up, made some big plays. AJ Raff had a pick six right before halftime, which swung the lead back, and Tyrell Meeks was a senior last year, ran the crap out of the football, and AJ ran. It was a fun game. Maybe not maybe not as fun as a 49-0, but it was fun. And our kids, the thing to me, and being here and seeing our kids, like, our kids believed all week that we were going to beat Harvey. Like, they watched the film, but like, to me, that's what like immature teams do. Like we have to wait and see who we play. No, let's just go out there and do the best that we can. And whoever they put out in front of us, if we do the best we can, we're going to have a chance. If we play this way, we're going to have a chance. And I think our kids just believed and kept saying, hey, keep coming, keep sticking. They can't stop us. They can't stop us. Well, if you go out there and you execute and you do stuff right, it should be like that. Just about every game, but that was a fun game, man. I remember, heck, after the game and the look on those kids' faces and standing up there in front of the band, and Mr. Roth, our band director, who was on the Fox 8 thing you played before, does a hell of a job with our band and getting those guys straight. And I think we got the best band in the county. And to see the look on those kids' faces and the feeling they got and the elation they had to pull out a game like that. Because in the past, and it's big for our program, especially our young kids, because in the past, and you guys know, and we don't run from it, 29 and 111, since 2005. That's the record at Lakeside, and add my 2 years on, so now you're 32 and 127, or 137, whatever it is. Okay, we're not running from that past. It's our job. We're the guys that are taxed to fix it. So we have to own it, we have to embrace it, and we got to fix it. But to be in that program where it's like almost like the Cleveland Browns of like whatever could go wrong will go wrong. Just getting over that philosophy and that mindset.
That is so accurate.
That's a mindset, and we've been working hard on correcting that and believing. Right, we need to believe in ourselves. Believe in the work you put in. Believe in yourself. Believe in your teammates. Believe in the work they put in, and then believe you will win. Because if you do those things, you put in the work, you believe in yourself, your teammates put in the same work, and you trust them, then the winning takes care of itself.
Yeah, I don't know if the band still plays a little bit of the fight song every time Lakeside scores. But, boy, 68 points, man. What'd you guys have to give those kids an oxygen tank? Because you guys scored 68, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
One question we've asked everyone before we get out of here, because we are running late, but I can't help it. It's too much fun right now. But one thing we've all talked about to every coach that's been on here is doing a 1-year all-county league. And I wanted to hear what your thoughts on doing something like that is. And simply because of the COVID issue and what's going on. We all know, Cuyahoga County is shut down right now. And there's 4 other counties as well. But what your thought on, doing a 1-year all-county league and maybe sparking up a little bit more rivalries, within Ashtabula County?
Yeah, I mean, if you gave us a choice to play, our regular schedule or an all-county league or no games in all-county league, I'm sorry, we're these kids got to play, and they got to play. I don't care how we got to work it out, even if, I've joked with some other coaches in the county, if they cancel our season, we'll just, charge everybody $10 and have a private league, they can sign waivers and they come out and play or try to figure something out. All right, we'll take our seniors and we'll take all the seniors in Ashtabula and take all the head coaches and we'll coach a position. We'll go play all the seniors from somewhere else if we get canceled, just some stuff like that. But, the county league thing, right now, like I think going forward, if that was our choice of ours and it came up like that, if we started losing some more teams on our schedule, dropping games like the Cuyahoga County teams have, then I think it makes a lot of sense. Us being in Division II, Region 5, and even being in the CVC at times, we're going to have to front load our schedule with our 3 non-conference games to get into playoffs. And that's not a knock on any of the quality of football of Ashtabula at all. But when you get down to numbers and playoff numbers and wins and points, if we played a county league, it'd be tough for Lakeside to get in Division II, Region 5 level with some of the smaller schools. And like I said, like if there was some type of, like if we ever moved down Division 3, if we got bumped down or whatever, then I think it makes a hell of a lot of sense. But where we're at right now, I think staying in the CVC for us is the right move. But if we had to say if we lose 3 more CVC teams, and we get a 4 or 5 game schedule, then the county league makes a heck of a lot of sense. And I'm not 100% opposed to it. I'm just saying, like, it's going to be tough. I don't want to end up in a situation like we talked about the other day, like Geneva had their best team in probably 40 years at 8-2, and they didn't get in. And I'm talking about bumping down and going Division III. Well, that might be the toughest region to get in the playoffs in the state. So, the rivalries, and I think that'd be great for the community. We're playing Geneva, we're playing Edgewood. If going forward we could get creative with some scheduling and some scrimmages, we might be able to rekindle a couple of those. But we right now the CVC, I think for us is the way to go.
Okay.
I like it. I think it's 10:40. I don't want to keep you anymore. I feel like we could do this all night, to be honest with you.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, we sat and shot the what for an hour and a half on Saturday just on a whim. I'll be honest with you, I was like, man, I told Sammy, I'm like, man, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't bug them. Maybe they're like drawing up some magical playbook right now. Didn't want to interrupt any of that stuff.
Annexation of Puerto Rico.
Annexation of Puerto Rico.
The green playbook from Waterboy. The green playbook from Waterboy.
Yeah, boy.
Getting the Philly thrown in there, whatever it may be. But look, he's got a green book. Of course he does. But yeah, no, Coach, man, I want to thank you so much. We didn't even get through half the stuff we wanted to talk about, which is great. I don't think anything bad, but it was great. Hey, out there, Dragon Nation, hey, thank you. We rolled almost 60 deep tonight at one point in time.
Showed up well.
And that's not including the 25 on one cell phone. I'm just putting that out there. So thank you guys all so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. I think Tom's got himself a little special announcement he's about to throw out there for us on Friday.
All right. So, first of all, thank you, Coach. It was a pleasure meeting you last night. Pleasure speaking with you today. But for the viewers, so past couple Tuesdays, like you guys know, Sammy likes to call me the stats guy. So I'm always looking at stats. It's what I do. It's how I keep calm. I've noticed that Tuesdays are huge. We've been having huge Tuesdays. We're getting coaches. But 4-4 Own Goal isn't only on Tuesdays. We're on Fridays as well. And Fridays, a little bit of a low viewership here from the goalies. So what we're going to do is this Friday, if we roll 25 to 30 viewers deep consistently all show, we're going to do a random giveaway from Sammy's app of some cool 4-4 Own Goal swag. Get some stuff out there. A mug, perhaps a water bottle, perhaps a t-shirt, not in 17XL like I have on, but so call to action for the goalies for Friday, 25 to 30 viewers deep all show. At the end of the show, we're going to do a giveaway to about 2 or 3 people, maybe 4 if we're feeling froggy. Who knows?
All right. So you guys heard it. Some giveaways on Friday. Join us then. Don't forget, I have to say, even though I would like to say Coach did say the team across the way there. He did say they played him once. I got to throw that out there. But next Tuesday, I'm almost can I announce this, Sammy, on who we got coming up on Tuesday? Okay, I want to make sure. I just didn't want to say it and then have to, retract my statement, all that. Next Tuesday.
You don't want to do the old Governor DeWine.
Yeah, I don't want to. Hey, I don't want to pull a DeWine. I don't want to go DeWine on you guys. But next Tuesday, put it out there. Geneva Eagles head coach will be joining us at Chip Sorber will be joining us at 9:30, just like Coach Buzz Edwards did tonight. So we'll start putting some stuff out there. Very excited about it. And it should be interesting this week, especially. And last question for Coach: when do you guys pad up?
We're going to put shoulder pads on Thursday. On Thursday, we'll put the shoulder pads on, and we'll scrimmage. We won't be full contact until middle of next week. So.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Good information. You guys, well, I'll ask you that here in a minute. But so, yes, thank you guys, everyone that joined in. Dragon Nation, hey, man, I love it. 60 people deep at one point in time. I love seeing all the support. show some support to your team this year. Let's get this rolling for these guys. So really good. Thanks again, guys. Thanks again, Coach. I can't wait to have you on again. And then we'll go from there. This is
Listen,
Ryan.
Coach,
I'm getting out of here.
I can't wait to come and cover some games for you guys this year. I'm hoping for a high-scoring game, except I don't want the other team to score. So,
Right.
Yeah. Hey, listen, our doors are always open to you guys, especially to alumni and former players. You guys want to come watch practice, just make sure you check in, get your temperature taken, put your mask on. You guys are able to come out, watch practice. Love to have you guys around. You need anything, holler at me. I really appreciate you having me on. One last shout out. I forgot my one blockhead friend from Pittsburgh, Chad, TJ's little brother. Forgot him. He just texted me whining about it, so I got to give him a shout out too. But I appreciate you guys, man. This is awesome. I think what you're doing for our kids and our community, not just in football, with everything, is fantastic. Y'all keep it up. Great job, man. I had fun.
Thank you, man.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Coach.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, Friday. We'll see you guys at 8:30. Give us some stuff away. It should be fun. We'll see y'all then. Friday, 8:30. Deuces.
Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam Ryan time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.